Hey everyone, I'm Rachel,
And I'm Jen, and welcome to Devilish Bookworms, the podcast.
where we read and review books and release episodes every Tuesday.
This week we have The Coveted and the Cursed by Lylah Taylor.
Yay!
Once upon a fairy tale in a kingdom far beyond our imagination, a young girl lived in a beautiful cottage with her mother and father. One day, during a visit with the village witch, a secret was discovered that would change the course of the young girl's life forever. Mirabelle has never known a moment of safety or security in a very long time. Her mind filled with thoughts, barely daring to hope that the next person to take her would treat her with kindness and decency. That is, until the beautiful woman is whisked away into the night by a fearsome beast. Rachel, what did you think of this book?
So I kind of want to know what you thought of this book because if anyone has ever spoken to me ever, then they know how much I love Beauty and the Beast because I don't know why. I just always loved it ever since I was a little kid. And I've watched the movies, like the black and white, and then my favorite iteration is, was it 2012, the French movie? Um, Hold on, I should have been more prepared. I actually did not love the live action Disney one that much. It was cute. I wasn't I wasn't mad at it. I just didn't kind of love it. Um, but no, I've seen all of them. I've seen the one with like Ron Perlman. I've seen um there was another one with like the dark-haired chick. I've seen Beastly, which he built her a greenhouse and it was so pretty. Have you ever seen Beastly?
No.
Oh my god. It's really cute. You should watch it. It has Neil Patrick Harris in it. And one of the Olsen twins, Mary Kate, she looked fantastic. Um, but my favorite iteration is Beauty and the Beast from 2014. It was a Christoph Gans. Um, it has Vincent Castle in it. Oh, it's fantastic. Anywho, I love Beauty and the Beast. So I was really excited to read this book. So because I loved it and because I was excited, I want to know how you felt about it because I don't think Beauty and the Beast is your favorite like fairy tale or like what is your favorite fairy tale?
I don't know if I actually have a favorite fairy tale. See, when I was growing up, I didn't really, I liked like the princess stories and all that shit,
Mhm.
but I was more of a hoe for Anastasia.
Okay.
So I don't know. I honestly, I can't answer that because I honestly don't know.
I think we've had this discussion before, and I think that you had the same answer then was that you just genuinely didn't know because you just don't have one.
Yeah, I like them. It's just, I've never really thought about having a favorite.
I think there's nothing that I don't like about Beauty and the Beast. Like I love in the original book, like the original book is so good. I bought it for you, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Like you talk about dream sequences. And I love the Disney version. It's so cute. The way they drew Belle. I just.
So I love the fact that Angela Lansbury is Mrs. Potts and sings Tale as Old as Time
Hmm. I
because
know.
obviously I love Angela Lansbury. Bed knobs and broomsticks, Murder She Wrote. I mean, how could you not love her?
She was in Bedknobs and Broomsticks?
Yes, she was. And on top of that, she played Agatha Christie in a movie as well.
Mm.
So, I love her. Loved. Oh. Hmm. I'm sorry, I made myself sad right there.
No, no sadness. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just love it. Um, so anywho's, What did you think about this book, this version? Because this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, so I was actually like really worried about this book because of the fact that I was like, how far can you actually get from the story without going completely off the storyline, you know?
Hmm.
And let me tell you, Layla did such a freaking phenomenal job with this book.
Yeah.
Not only was I captured by just the characters itself, but the storyline was fantastic. It didn't veer very far off, but yet it was its own entity. So I mean, it was great. Like I was reading a new story while also still staying in Beauty and the Beast mode.
Hmm.
And oh, just all right, just a quick tangent. So not only did she have the elements of the love and the hate and the being completely broken, being alone and being desperate for trying to save someone that you love, but she had the gore in there. She had spicy scenes in there. And it was just like it had so much of everything that it was just like so well balanced that I could not stop reading it. And I was actually at work one night this week and I was reading this, and a customer came in and asked me why I look so mad. I was like, I'm not, I'm just really focused on this book. Like, it's so good. And she's like, oh, what are you reading? I'm like, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, except it's on the spicy side. This woman demanded the name of this book and the author, went home and read it that night. Like she devoured this book, and she came in the next day and was like, that book was so good, thank you so much for the recommendation. I'm like, wait a second, you've already finished it? Like she's like, oh yeah, I'm a speed reader, but you had me hooked. I'm like, awesome.
I feel like my life would be so much easier if I was a speed reader.
Oh, I know.
I'm not.
I could read fast, but they're like, my ADHD has been so fucking bad, it's so rough.
Really.
Oh, it like there was a couple of days I was doing so great, and then shit hit the fan.
I uh I just like to savor the books.
Yeah.
Not that people who speed read don't savor their books, but I don't know. Anywho,
So I know that you read this one before me, but what were your first thoughts when you started getting into it? Like, because you do start out with such a different beginning.
the whole premise of the story, like you said, she does a really good job at like keeping the main kind of story, but having it be 100% her own. So in this book, Mirabelle is she's called the Coveted, right? And she, was a normal little girl, and then there was a prophecy that was made, or like she became the Coveted essentially, which the idea was that she could make anyone's dream come true, basically. Like she was a blessing that could, I mean, basically just that, just make your dreams come true, make your wildest desires, I guess, come to light. And so, because of that, people, as they do, um, decided that they wanted her, and sometimes the people who kidnapped her were good people at heart, and some people sometimes they very much were not, and it was kind of just the luck of the draw. um Whoever kind of got her. And there were a couple of things that I really loved about it, that I'll get to a little bit later, but I loved that was so creative. It was just so creative to me. um all of it, like the misunderstandings, people taking what they thought that she was and kind of running with it, and um yeah, I just kind of thought that that was a really rad premise. I've never read or seen anything that was kind of like that before.
I've never read anything that went in this fashion, but also again was like I was saying, was able to stay on the storyline. Like
Yeah.
there was the beauty, there was the beast. She was obsessed with books, and there was a curse. I don't want to give everything away, but of
Yeah.
there was the curse that was placed on him for his selfishness.
Hmm.
But the one difference that I kind of did love, that it wasn't a curse that affected people around him, like his friends and whatnot that were in the building. They were already cursed.
Yeah.
That was a good twist. I like that. Or am I just thinking of the Disney one? I don't know.
No, that's fair. I mean, the Disney one is kind of its own beast. That pun
Ah,
unintended.
I was gonna say, but
um, you know what I love? I loved how genuinely good Mira is. Like the
hmm,
way she wrote her was it was so thought-provoking because I mean, she was pretty much like, because she had been going through this, people wanting her and like taking her and, going from captor to captor. Um, sh- she just kind of resigned herself. You know what I mean? Like, literally, her only thoughts were, I hope they're nice to me, you know? And she had had people that were awful to her. She had had people that were nicer to her. And it was like she was so resigned. She had no thoughts of the future. It was so heartbreaking because it
hmm,
was literally just, she had no hope for herself, no hope for them. It was literally just like, okay, where am I going now? What's going on now? But she was so good. Like, she learned to stay quiet and stay safe. And like, that's something that a lot of kids learn very young, and like hopefully they can transition that into knowing when to stay quiet and when to speak up. And you know she's humble and gracious and kind of like considers the consequences and how to see things from other people's perspectives. Like, I especially now love a bad bitch, right? Like, I love a woman who, I mean, right now is kind of rough. Like, I just finished the Akatar series, and I don't think that Nesta was half as mean as she could have been. And everyone else is like, Nesta's the worst. And I'm like, nah, she could have been worse. And I kind of wish that she was. But anyway, um, I love like a feral woman, but there's something so endearing about like the softer characters too. And like, I'm not saying softer as in weak, I'm saying like the gentler souls. And some of them are so strong, and I think Mira definitely was, especially when she kind of came into her own. Um, so as much as I love that kind of savage uh FMC, she was the epitome of like a good soul, like a good person, and I loved it.
wow. I'm sorry. That was so like perfectly said
Thank you.
that I had to just take a moment to just like wow you. But you're absolutely 100% right. Like Mira was like such a phenomenal character. And I think the way that she gave her bits of hope and then just made it come crashing down just proved how strong she was, because she still didn't break.
Hmm.
And that's all I'm gonna like say about that. But like everything about her character was just everything that I aspire to be, like I want to be that nice, gentle person, but there's no fucking way. Like it's just not gonna happen. But I try to do everything like with a good heart in mind. But
Hmm. she's
she's just like, I wish there was more people like that that actually existed.
Yeah.
It's just I don't want the whole broken down and broken soul type of situation. Just more good-hearted people that like that.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think that the beast, Dante, I really liked his character too. I will say that there was a moment where I was kind of disappointed. Um, I would have liked to have seen him be a little bit more touch her and die or touch them and die. You know, like there was a point where people close to him were in trouble. And I don't think that he took the higher road, and I did not want him to take the higher road. I wanted him to go just all out and like,
Mhm.
kind of like a hopefully you know the part that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it was like his people were in trouble. They were hurt. They were actively hurt. And like he stopped himself and I was like, mm.
But at the same time, you've got to give it to him for the sense of like he just went full like beast mode.
Mm.
I know you really love when they like get really overzealous about it.
I like no limits. I like no boundaries. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
like I don't know. I he held back and I don't know. There's something about when lines are crossed for me in books when there's like or movies when there's like lines are crossed and like, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I just think there's something about like reaching that darkest point in yourself and acknowledging the darkest point in yourself and like, I mean I guess he did acknowledge it, but he didn't reach it on paper. He did before, like
Hmm.
off page. Anywho, um, so I want to talk a little bit about the idea of Mirabelle being kidnapped basically continuously by a ton of people. Um, so right off the bat, Lylah plays with the idea of the good guy and the bad guy, but not in a way that you would expect, right? So it's not so much like this is the good guy and this person's the bad guy. It's more of like okay, so what if neither of them are the real bad guy? And realistically, like the bad guy is the perception that you hold of the other person, right? So like there's one point where there's a character and you would think that because of what this character was doing, they were a bad guy, right? But there was so much more to it, and they actually were like a genuinely good person who had good intentions for what they were doing. Jen, are you on the path? Are you like picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm starting to pick up what you're putting down.
Okay. So then someone else comes into the mix and is like, um, they're like, oh, you shouldn't have to be with someone like that. You shouldn't have to put up with that. And she's like, no, but he was like a good guy. Like he was nice to me and you know what I mean? And it was like both of them were kind of good to her, but they both thought that the other one was the bad guy. And it wasn't that either of them was necessarily evil. It was just they both thought that the other one was evil, you know? I
Yeah.
feel as though I'm explaining this in a very confusing way, but I loved the way that she played with that like okay, person A was not the quote unquote bad guy. Person B could be construed as the bad guy, but person B thought that person A was the bad guy and thus reacted the way that they did, you know?
Hmm.
And it kind of puts you in a headspace of like, okay, so if I just got all the details, if I just listened, or if I just gathered all the information without reacting first, then I would understand that things aren't how I'm assuming they are. Does that make sense?
So it I because I've read it, I understand where you're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the way that she describes it is in a simple way, is basically she might have been locked in a small room in one instance with one captor, and but the with the next captor she might not have been locked in a room, but she was still under lock and key.
Mm-hmm.
She was still not allowed to leave. She was still under guard. She, like, they might have been more lenient with her, but they still weren't doing what was best for her. It wasn't still a good situation, even though it was better than what she was in.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. I mean, she
so
was still a prisoner.
yeah, absolutely. She was anytime she was called upon, she must go, but she was allowed to at least take walks.
I
So,
hope that Lylah
oh,
listening to this like knows the part that I'm talking about. It's literally like the very beginning of the book, and like her heart breaks and our heart breaks, and it's like, you know
mm,
what I mean? Like it was actually really sad.
oh,
um yeah. I don't know. There was a love poem to Bella from Adam. Did you see that?
I probably saw it, but do I remember it? No.
So there was a book of poems that I believe the Beast had, and one of the
Oh,
poems, yeah, and like they were not people that he knew, but it was like it was a love poem to a person named Bella from a person named Adam. So like Belle and Prince Adam.
mm,
It was really cute.
I did not put that together. Honestly, I didn't remember what the real prince's name was from Beauty and the Beast, to be honest with you.
It's Prince Adam, and he's a ginger in the cartoon.
That I remember. So, Beauty and the Beast is actually my grandmother's favorite fairy tale. Like, she's obsessed.
Really?
Obsessed. Oh, yeah. Like, it's really cute. Her singing, oh, I love listening to her sing the little songs. Oh.
Mm.
But so she she used to watch it a lot when I was a kid. So like I remember certain aspects of the movie versus, like, I don't know, this. But at the same time it's like there are a lot of things that I forgot about. But as I was reading it, I'm like remembering certain things and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And oh, there was just so many good things about this. Like, seriously good. The amount of heartbreak that is in this book is just amazing. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
sad. It's so fucking sad. But the way that she does it is like she doesn't just break your heart like in half. Like, she breaks it into a million pieces, but then slowly puts it back together during the story. And it's like I have to just like applaud her for that, because there's not a lot of books that can make me stop and want to cry, but this one got me real fucking close. Like, to the point I've got something in my eye. Hold on. Type of deal. Like, I was so close to tears so many different times, and I love you and hate you for that, because I'm not an emotional person. But the so Jasper and Callista
Oh
are
my god.
literally perfect characters. With their bantering, it was just like the back and forth that just kind of got me. But
Mm-hmm.
their characters were literally amazing, between just how feisty Callista was. It made me instantly love her. She
Yeah.
she literally took no shit, and she gave it so fucking hard. Especially the fact that she called the beast puppy. I died. And
I
when
thought that
she
was
patted,
adorable.
oh my God, and she patted him on the head. Ugh, I
I thought that
lost
was such a
it.
cute like
It was
best
so,
friend thing to do.
yeah, it was very endearing, but I mean,
Yeah.
just, it made me so happy with just how they all vibe together. And they all had their own function,
Hmm.
but they also worked so well together, even though they were misfits, but they all fit. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
We're all misfits.
I I love being a misfit.
Hey, would you have ever thought that you would read the word suck it in a Beauty and the Beast retelling?
Nope. Nope. I did not.
There were a couple of things. I can't remember what the other one was that I caught, but oh, they were so funny.
There's so much that I didn't expect out of this book that it's just like it overwhelmed me.
Yeah.
And I absolutely adore this book, but it I think this is going to put me into a tailspin of like nothing's going to kind of it's going to put me in a book slump. Nothing's going to equal up to it.
Oh no. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's like one of those things like this book was so great and it was so overwhelmingly good that I'm just like I'm so thrilled about it, but I don't think anything's going to live up to it for a little bit. I'm
oh, that
hoping it does, but it's just
sucks.
like I'm so happy.
Yeah, no, that's one of the weirdest, like, that's one of the weirdest things that readers go through, I think, is the book slump that's brought on by loving a book so much. Because I did that with Nenia. I did that with Raise the Blood. And
Yeah.
like I didn't want to read anything after that book. And then we had another one. What was the other? There was one
Oh,
that was recently that I did the same thing. Oh, that blows. I'm sorry.
yeah. But it's like it was kind of like the I can't say it was Gothicana, but it was like it's very close.
Oh, I did that with Gothic
Like
Candy too.
yeah, that one just it hit me real hard and I had such a struggle getting out of that one, but this one's gonna be real close.
Do you hear that, Lila? Do you hear that? Your book was so good that now Jen can't read anything else for a little while because they're all gonna suck compared. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's not that it's gonna suck, it's just gonna be like I have such high hopes now for the next book. Oh, I really can't wait to read anything else by Lylah.
Well, I mean, she does have other books. She has A Monster's Prey of Wings and Secrets.
But we'll get to that after. So there was one thing I did want to mention,
Go for
and
it.
I don't know if you picked it up, but there was a scene where she was at the ball and it was being held in her honor and she was watching the people formal dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally got brought into a Pride and Prejudice moment. The part where Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy were dancing and all the people disappear. That
Oh,
was the exact moment I was witnessing while reading this because of
really?
the way that she described it. It was like, oh, they went from like this slow thing to a slightly faster tempo and it was formal dancing and they were swaying in and out of each other and then coming back together. The way that she was describing the dance, it sounded like
Mm-hmm.
the dance that they were doing.
Oh,
And
I love that.
I actually looked it up because it was driving me crazy. I had to listen to it. It's called A Postcard to Henry Purcell. And that song is the song that they dance to and it's been stuck in my fucking head since I read that part.
Really?
So it's like all of a sudden I'm doing something and that's literally just playing in the background of my brain.
I love that.
I do too, kind of. Oh, but it was just like another moment where I was just like I wasn't expecting that, but it made me so happy.
Yeah. I yeah, I don't know. The whole book just kind of gave me like there were a lot of like twists, right? Like things that you weren't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And then like really sweet romantic things, things that
Oh,
were supposed to be sweet and romantic that were not, like I don't know. It gave me all the feels.
Seriously, like I'm so this is gonna be terrible to say, but I'm so glad I wasn't on my cycle for this one. I would have
Oh.
been a fucking blubbering mess.
That's amazing.
Like it literally I'm not like you know how much I'm not an emotional person. Like I try so hard to keep all my emotions just on lockdown, but
Yeah.
this one just had me fucking swirling and I couldn't
Yeah.
handle it.
Well, and like the times where Mirabelle, because she had only been around a certain type of person, right? Like she had never seen people in a certain light. She had never been able to witness people just being people, or, like there was her one request that, before she was brought into the castle, and then they were like, I think we can do that. And you were just like, something so simple. And it was like, oh.
There was so many moments that I just wanted to cry. Just like the Twitter bugs or Twitter oh, I don't
What are they
remember what they
called?
were. Twitterlings or
No, it was not Twitter, you weirdo.
I know it wasn't, but my Kindle died, so I'm I'm working off of like memory.
What were they? I don't know. It's fine.
Hold on. No, because I have my phone. Twinklers. Ha!
Twinklers.
So so obviously I thought of lightning bugs, but just
Yeah.
having the name like changed to Twinklers was just so cute. And it was just something so simple, but it was just like a moment of awe. And then of course it was like, oh, right after, but
Did you know that lightning bugs are they're like endangered? They're like slowly dying off.
it, I can actually believe that because I used to have a ton in my backyard. Like every summer I would sit out there and they would just be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky to see a handful now and I don't
Yeah.
understand it. It's so sad.
Well, they're not extinct at the moment, but they're definitely getting there. I guess it's because of, just how much we're destroying their homes, building more houses for us, taking away like the um uh, homes and habitats, and then also all the pesticides everyone uses. Like how how awful that in the like it's bad enough that like my sister-in-law has never seen a firefly, but like how
What?
awful. She's never seen a firefly. They don't have them where she grew up.
I'm so sad for her.
I know. And literally, me and my brother were sitting there trying to explain to her how incredible fireflies are.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sitting like
oh.
literally like sitting at, your house or your friend's house or whatever. And there's like a fire, like a bonfire going, or like,
Mhm.
just a fire going. Everyone's kicked back, chill. And then you see like a little twinkle here, a little twinkle there. And then, ugh, freaking
Yeah.
fireflies. Um,
So, ew, why are you making me get so emotional?
I'm
Ugh,
sorry.
no. So, as a kid, like, it was like the only way to get close to the stars was just by
Yeah.
watching the lightning bugs. And, like, it's the closest I'll ever get. It's the closest that, that kind of beauty would be in front of me. So it was just like, were the only type of bugs that I could actually stand being near. Still to this day, they pretty much are the only bug that I like. But, you know, even butterflies, I'm scared of them. I just can't, dude. Ladybugs, forget about it.
Oh my God.
That experience with the thousand ladybugs has forever terrified me, and no, thank you. So
Okay.
just a quick side story for you folks listening. I bought 1,000 live ladybugs, and I released them in my plants, and it was the most terrifying experience I've ever had, because if you've never seen 1,000 ladybugs waking up all at once, it is fucking scary.
It's literally just ladybugs.
There, no, it's like a million little faces just fucking starting to skitter around everywhere. No, no.
I am not trying to trivialize your fear, and I'm sorry. It is a
my
very legitimate fear.
my fears are weird, but it's okay. I will stand up to a 400-pound man and yell in his face, but I will be terrified of a fucking little ladybug. I'm not I'm not rational. It's okay. I know.
You said my fears are weird, and like all I heard was your beard is weird. It made me think of Eminem.
Oh goodness.
Anywho's, did you have a favorite character?
Oh, you would
Actually,
ask.
before that, I wonder, back to real quick, back to the Firefly situation. You know how like they have things that you can use to like attract ladybug or to attract butterflies or like hummingbirds and stuff. I wonder if there's a way for us to like attract um
Fireflies.
fireflies. Yeah. Obviously
Ooh,
I wouldn't be able to do it, but I wonder if there's something that you could do like around your house or something, you know?
fireflies. Well, we're gonna find the fuck out. Yes, you can attract fireflies by creating a moist, shady environment with native plants and a water feature.
Ooh. Well, you're doing your fair
Uh,
share of like you're doing plants.
oh yeah.
So now we just need to get you a water feature.
Yeah, but the only problem with that is all the mosquitoes.
Ugh, the Massachusetts state bird.
Mm-hmm. They've been so bad this year already.
Have
Already.
they?
Like, I was outside for 5 minutes last night, just getting from the car to the door, and I was bit 3 times.
Ugh.
Like, I can't win. I have a bite on my toe.
Ugh.
Like, I fucking hate these things. They're so awful. If anybody knows how to get rid of mosquitoes, and definitely work on that and replace the fireflies. Like, we want more fireflies, less mosquitoes.
Right. Anywho's. Yes. Do you have a favorite quote?
Oh, you asked about favorite character,
Yes,
ma'am.
you have a favorite character. I got distracted thinking about the fireflies.
So, listen, I couldn't choose a favorite character because I held so much love for actually like four of the main characters. So, I mean, it was just like I could not choose. Um, Dante kind of pissed me off a little bit right there. Like even she kind of irritated me for a moment because of his his honesty issues. She went on a tangent, okay? And she said some shit that kind of pissed me off.
Okay.
Now, well, I can't even say it pissed me off, but it made me disappointed in her, because
Sure.
she's more of the rational, level-headed person, which, sits there and thinks about every perspective, but yet she didn't stop to think about the other perspective at that point. And I
Yeah.
understand being hurt and being in that vulnerable moment where you lash out, but she just kept lashing out and refused to hear him out,
Hmm.
and that's where the disappointment laid. And but yeah.
I kind of like that though,
Okay.
because of the fact that she had been so like um like goals, right? For lack of a better term. Like she had been so, understanding and caring and loving the whole time. It was almost like, in a way, it's almost like, no, you deserve to be irrational for a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I just, it was the way that she said a few things that just kind of like really irked me though. It
Yeah.
just, that's like if you and I got upset with each other and I said, well, this is why you're being a terrible best friend right now. And I like, I would seriously like freak the fuck out if I ever said something like that. Like, ugh. Like we're allowed to be mad at each other, but to say that you're not like being a great best friend is just awful. And I could never, that just makes me mad thinking it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, words have meaning, and some I've heard couples or friends or people being in fights before saying the most heinous, awful, nasty stuff, and I'm like, you can't unhear that. You can't unsay that. And like, no joke, like if you and I were in a fight and you said you're being a terrible best friend, I don't know. I mean, I kind of take things literally sometimes. Sometimes I don't, but like I don't know, that would put me in a tailspin 100%.
Yeah, and I think that the equivalent of what she said would should have been that same tailspin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't vibe with it at all. But I mean, obviously, like she said it out of like out of just spite and anger at that moment. But at the same time, it's just like,
Too far.
girl,
Too
yeah,
far.
yeah, a little too far.
Yeah.
So, but what about you? Who was your favorite character?
I really hope you understand what I say or what I mean when I say it was the basil.
The basil
The basil.
in the eggs.
There was a reoccurring situation where basil kept getting brought up. No, 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 that's not it. You'll tell me eventually.
Yeah, that's what I was like in the eggs.
in
Like,
the eggs in the eggs, it was so funny. Like I don't know, I sometimes I love when things are, I mean, I love stand-up comedy, when you're at the end of the set and you recall the first joke. Oh, I think it's so funny every time the basil and the eggs were brought up. It just cracked me up.
what? Okay,
Yeah,
like
no, that's the answer.
basil. Okay,
The
like
basil
you. Oh my God,
is my favorite character.
you are such a dork, and I love it so much. Like that is not even close to what I was expecting. But
What were
all
you,
right.
who were you expecting?
Honestly, I thought you were gonna say the Beast,
Okay.
but at the same time, I could have seen you saying, mm, who was that one? Hold on.
The old chick in the woods? Or
Yeah,
when, yeah, no, I did dig her actually.
I couldn't
Um
remember her name.
she's like, you're okay with me just letting some stranger into your house? She's like, yeah, but don't do it again.
Yeah, don't track snow in my house.
That's so funny.
Oh, Lord. So, wow. Okay. Now,
Mm.
did you have a favorite quote?
I did have a favorite quote. Let
Ooh.
me see. I actually, okay, I wrote down a lot, and I don't know if people like when I read off all 15 of them. So, how many do you have? Do you have just one?
No. Hold on.
I have six of them.
Wait, wait. Hold on. Because I
I
gotta
can try and pare it down.
I'm kind of like I'm kind of jazzed because I thought I had a lot. I have seven.
I have six. Okay, so
Ah,
you read one, I'll read one.
okay. You go first.
No, you read one, I'll read one.
What? Um,
Because you have more.
Sometimes people battle with things inside themselves. Wars not fought by swords and arrows are just as harmful.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. um, I have when he saw that I'd clocked it, he stiffened and returned to his stoic, rigid pose. Because of the listen, it's because clocked it is a very specific term, and I was not expecting to see it. So, like,
Okay.
when he saw that I'd clocked it, I was like, what? Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Okay.
I
What's your
gotcha.
next one?
Desire, one of the most dangerous traits of humanity, I'd argue. They allow anyone to justify the most abhorrent actions.
I have that one too.
Ah, okay.
Because it's true. It's literally true.
Fuck
Like,
yeah.
we do such awful, horrible things just because, like, just for the sake of desire,
Mm-hmm.
and we justify it.
Every, every time.
Every time. I didn't know what it was about my cape acting like the scruff of my neck, but creatures certainly liked to grab me by it.
Okay.
Well,
Uh,
it was kind of like a spicy little, like,
mm.
it was something like sassy for her when she wasn't in her sassy era yet. What else you got?
The wise man sits in a tall tower, speculating over all. He views. You have this one too, don't you?
No, I just no. Keep going.
Okay. He views the workers beneath as fools, for they do not understand the complexity of their existence. But the fool is the most wise of all. He builds the life he wants.
Yeah. Which
Mm.
actually is a really good quote. It's a really good, like, it's a thought provoker. But in this story, the first time she said it, and everyone just kind of stared at her.
Oh, I know. I honestly, I started highlighting it at that point, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll find something different. And then I saw it again, and I was like, okay, it's just meant to be.
It's just meant to be. I have, I hate it when I have to keep my curtains open to be woken up by the blazing sun, but morning doesn't seem so terrible when there are no blood buckets involved.
Oh my God. So this one kind of hit home for me. Now look at myself. I've been made a fool, left exposed, no armor left to guard my heart. This is what all those self-imposed rules saved me from getting close to people.
Mm,
Hmm.
yeah, I can see how that one would hit. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that one needs a moment of reflection.
Yeah.
Um, I have, in spite of that, we were going too fast, each step speeding up time toward a destination I struggled harder to accept the nearer it became.
Okay.
I feel like that's so, like, it can be taken literal, it could be taken metaphorically. Um, and it's kind of, it's another thought provoking one. Sometimes the things that you're trying hard to avoid come up on you way too quickly.
Yeah. Facts.
Mhm.
Absolute facts. So this one, this next one, this was another one that kind of hit me hard because this was
Mhm.
during one of her tantrums.
Mm,
Well, not one of her tantrums. This was during her tantrum.
yeah.
And it says, I lifted the mirror from its hooks and sent it crashing on the ground with a therapeutic scream. It shattered, peering down at the settling shards. My reflection remained, though fragmented. It mimicked the way my soul felt broken.
Ugh,
Dude, just
dude.
Oh, what are you doing to me? Like all the feelings, man.
Yeah, no, she really does. Like she gives you some things that really hit home.
Oh yeah, she puts you in your feels. All of
Yep.
them. Mm.
Mm. My last one, because you had the desire one. My last one is uh it's simple yet effective. You will never have to hide away again.
That was such a good moment.
I know.
So I'm gonna say say one that kind of it's a little weird, okay? Um, it was I didn't know which I preferred, the melancholy or unrestrained anger.
Mm.
There's such a difference between the two, but there's so much emotion in both of them that it's like you don't want to be in either one of those positions, but it's sometimes there's just no happy medium, you know?
Well, and I feel like it happens a lot too when we're fighting with people or when we're upset or disappointed with people. It's like, how do I play this? Do I allow them to see how hurt I am? Or do I do that? Do I give in to the melancholy? Or do I just go off on them and make them hurt as badly as I'm hurt?
I wish more people would actually like stop and think like is it worth making them hurt because in the long run you're literally only hurting yourself by making that other person hurt,
Yeah.
and it's just it's really not worth it.
It's one of those things that I have to stop and really think about when I'm in those spaces because I mean, I'm sure a lot of us can, but I can really hurt. You know, like I really like if I let myself get um angry enough or if I allow myself to kind of quote unquote go there, I can really make the people that I love hurt. And no, it's not worth it. So I got to kind of keep myself in check a lot.
But we all have destructive tendencies, and sometimes it's so hard to remain controlled and know that balance.
Yeah.
You want to say all the things that you need to say, but how to make them be said without hurting the person that you're trying to say them to. It's so fucking hard, dude.
Mm-hmm. You know what I do sometimes? Like sometimes if I'm upset with someone for any reason or whatever, and like my my inner self wants to make them hurt, like I'll just be like, I'll just text them or I'll just say like, "Hey, I love you." And I'll just walk away. I'll force myself to say I love you instead of saying what my brain wants me to say because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna tear this person apart and it's not all their fault. And so I'm just going to tell them I love them and I'm going to go away and then we're going to come back and be happy.
Yep. She's done it with me. I know. It's
I have.
I know you have multiple times. And it's okay. There's times where I have to put my phone down and walk away and ignore you for a couple hours. It's fine. We have our ways to cope.
Right.
But at the same time, this is also why we've been friends for so long because we know when we don't want to hurt the other person. Like we have to walk away, we have to stop ourselves. And, it's taking that second of consideration for the other person's feelings that we constantly do for each other
Mm-hmm.
that other people just don't have the want or need to do, apparently. And just,
Yeah.
we're just different people. We're different.
Well, and it's also giving ourselves or giving each other the grace to not be our best selves. Sometimes we're not our best selves. Sometimes I'm really hard to love and I totally understand that and it's like you give me the grace to be the worst version of myself, you know?
We
And you're
we
like,
both can be very cunty.
oh, 100%, 100%. And it's like, listen, I get what's going on. I love you anyway. You're being a hoe.
Yeah. And if you feel that spice through the fucking podcast, people, just fucking deal with it. If we're fine. We're
We're
just
fine.
we're just spicy at the moment. It's fine.
Also, if you think you've ever heard a little of that, you have.
You have
If you've
so
ever
have.
listened to the podcast and been like, "Ooh, okay, yeah, nope, you're
Tension with a knife. Yeah. Yes, it is. There are,
goodness."
hey, if it wouldn't be a healthy friendship or, a family situation if we didn't want to kill each other every so often. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
So we actually received The Coveted and the Cursed as an ARC book, and it was like, was it Jen? Would you say that it was it was not our first ARC, but I was just so excited to get it.
Honestly, it was an exciting moment, especially because like you sent me like a little snippet of it and I was like, ooh, this sounds really good. And
Ooh.
then it really was really good.
I'm so happy that you really loved it.
I really did. Thank you, Layla Tyler or Taylor for this. But also like, God damn it. I'm so
God
sad
damn
about
it.
this book slump that I'm gonna be in. I know it's coming.
Well, she is the author of two other novels. One is A Monster's Prey and Of Wings and Secrets. And I did see that Of Wings and Secrets is about, I believe that there are fae and there are dragons for sure. Um, you can find all of Lylah's information at her link tree, which is linktree, linktr.ee /TAYLOBAYBO. And on there, she has, you can win a copy of Coveted and the Cursed. You can donate, join her newsletter, which we're not on her newsletter. I have to rectify that. Um, of Wings and Secrets, which is a novella, her storygraph, Amazon wish list, all that jazz. Um, you can find her on TikTok,
Wow.
uh, at Lylah Taylor author, LYLAHTAYLORAUTHOR. Her at Lylah Taylor Writes is also her Instagram, and I believe she's on Threads. Is she? We do have her on Threads, don't we?
Yeah,
We gotta.
I'm almost positive we do. Because I think that's kind of where we first saw some of the stories about it. Or
Mhm.
but so listen, Of Glass and of Gold, book 2 of the Cursed Kingdom series.
Yeah.
I need that in my life.
Yeah. She did a cover reveal a day ago and it's beautiful. So Coveted in the Curse was black and red because it's like black and then it has like the red rose and it's beautiful, right? And then there's like a sword and gold writing. And then Of Glass and Gold is blue with gold. It's like a royal
Filigree.
blue with like, yeah, like gold filigree. And then the words are silver.
It really is beautiful. And Lila, keep us in mind.
It's actually a Cinderella retelling.
I know. And
I
I'm
know.
I don't care. Lila, keep us in
Mhm.
mind. Keep us in mind. Keep us in mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. I am so excited. I literally want all of her books right now.
I know. I feel like you need the hard copy.
I listen, I will own this book, a physical copy for sure. It was I need it.
Yeah.
If you do any special editions, let me know.
Well,
I want a
she's
special.
signing them.
Uh-huh.
She's doing signed copies of The Coveted and the Cursed. Oh my God, but could you imagine like a sprayed edges version?
That's what I'm talking about. Like with roses or ooh, like a silhouette of like a beast and a woman. Oh, with
Oh
with little Twitter bugs around it or whatever they were called,
my God.
twitches.
Did you say twitches?
Yeah,
No.
whatever. I'm sorry. Twinklers.
Twinklers. Maybe we'll message her. Let's message her and be like, hey, could we do a sprayed edges version?
Yeah, like I said, little twinklers or the little moon drop silhouette, them two, something. Maybe a little gargoyle on the top and little witch with a crystal ball on the bottom. Just just throwing it out there. I mean, these are just
Just
ideas. Just bouncing around in my head, you know.
I love it.
Oh,
Uh
uh,
I think Jen found her new so we've through this podcast, we have had some really amazing books written by some really amazing authors. And I think that like there are some authors that are like an insta buy for us. And this is not an exclusive list, right? But on this list are, of course, Nenia Campbell, who just came out with a book called Xander about it's like a hockey romance, which like I said to her on threads, if there's anyone who's gonna get me to read a hockey romance, it's gonna be her. um Carrie Lake is an auto read for us, and I
mm.
believe that Lylah Taylor is going to be an auto read for Jen.
Oh yeah, along with Runix. Oof.
Oh, Runix. I have a ton of her books on my KU, like just sitting there
Same.
waiting for me to show them love.
I know, same here. Like I've got to stop.
Or not.
Yeah. I like that idea better.
All right, Jen, can you tell the children what we are listening to next week?
Next week we are reading Untraced Magic by Rachel Scott.
Yay!
Yay, it's right. I'm
Yay.
so excited. Oh, it's only in paperback. I'm so sad.
What's that? Oh, the Coveted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still not sad. I still want it.
It's honestly like this book, it's like, listen, love a good slow burn. And this book is 100% slow burn. And like, you have the gratification of having it be like a true Beauty and the Beast retelling. Like, it very much gives you those Beauty and the Beast vibes with
Mm-hmm.
so much payoff.
Yeah,
I give it like 5 jalapenos.
you're so cute.
It's a new one, guys. Literally go check it out. It was released on the 21st of May. I forget that this episode is going to come out in June, but um anywho's. Yeah, go first listen to our podcast, then go read The Coveted and the Cursed, and then find us and Lylah Taylor on social media and tell us how amazing it is, because to we want you to be in a book slump like Jen is. I'm sorry.
Wow, she just
I'm
really said that.
sorry.
Oh, oh, but no, I agree. Like you need to feel what I'm feeling right now. It's so sad, but it's so great. But I'm still sad.
All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope that you join us again next week. And we will see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, cunt. All right. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.